students! Today you are going to take the food memoir story that you started yesterday and you're going to edit and make some changes and just look over your work because this is a major grade. So I'm going to guide you through how to do that. So first of all, if you look at the screen, I have included an editing checklist. And on this checklist, it spells out EDITS, edits. So these are the things we want to look for, and I'm going to go over an example with you after we look at the checklist, okay? So we want to have our ending marks at the end of our sentences, whether or not it's a period or question mark if it's a question, or even exclamation mark if you are excited in your story. D, do the sentences make sense? Does your subject or who the sentence is about agree with your verb? And I'll show you an example of that in just a second. The I stands for including strong verbs. We'll kind of look at that a little bit. I'm more worried about the E, the D, the T, and the S. T, did you take the time to check for capital letters at the beginning of sentences? And I'm going to go even further, and we're going to look at capital letters for proper nouns and in the word I. And then your S, did you check your spelling? Now you have spell check available to you in Google Docs. And then I also provided you with a commonly misspelled words list to help you with spelling. But remember, I'm not taking off spelling. I just want you to do your very, very best. Now, I'm going to go through an example with you. This is my story, okay? So we're going to edit it a little bit together. It was my first Halloween after my parents' divorce. Well, if I look at the word Halloween, that's actually the name of a holiday. Holidays should start with a capital letter. So I'm going to fix that and make that a capital H for Halloween. Okay? I was 5 years old and Mom and I lived in a small 2-bedroom apartment. Now, the word apartment is underlined with that red squiggle because it's not spelled correctly. So I need to fix it. You can right-click on it, and it will pull up some options for you. Unfortunately, apartment didn't pop up. So I'm going to see what I can do to fix it. Apartment. There's something missing here. Let's try an N. Apartment. I know I've got an N sound. Ah, now it pops up. Apartment. That's how you spell it. My room had a large cutout window that opened in the living room. I love playing McDonald's drive-thru. McDonald's is capitalized because it's the name of a restaurant. Being in an apartment, Mom wasn't sure about trick-or-treating from door to door, and if the neighbors would even hand out candy, she decided to take me to the mall and trick-or-treat from store to store. That was a really long sentence. I need to break it up, okay? That's called a run-on, where we've got a really long sentence. We need to add a period in there somewhere and start a new sentence. So let's see where that would make sense. Anyway, being in an apartment, Mom wasn't sure about trick-or-treating from door to door and if the neighbors would even hand out candy. That seems like a good spot. I'm going to put a period here and capitalize the S because it's at the beginning of the sentence. She decided to take me to the mall and trick-or-treat from store to store. Sounds good. We did just that. As we kept going, we both realized that my trick-or-treat bucket is filled with one thing. Okay, is not correct because is present tense. And this story happened when I was 5, a long, long time ago. So I need to make it past tense to make it make sense. So then it should be was. My trick-or-treat bucket was filled with one thing. Okay, because the whole thing is in the past tense, then the whole story needs to be in the past. Do your best with that. If it's tricky, we can work on that together. Was filled with one thing. Tootsie Rolls. Tootsie Rolls is the name of a candy. It should be capitalized. So if you decide to write about Snickers or Fun Dip or Starburst, those are all names of candies that should be capitalized. But if you're just talking about chicken or steak, it's not the name of a type of food, so you would not have to capitalize that. The only other thing I want to talk to you guys about, which is a very common mistake that I see, is the word I. Okay, the dreaded word I. This is a lowercase I right here. It's underlined in the red squiggle, and it should never, ever, ever be lowercase when it's by itself. This should always be capitalized, whether it's in the middle of a sentence, whether it's at the beginning of a sentence. If the word I is alone, it must be capitalized. So what I want y'all to do is go back through your story, look for some of these things, and make some changes, and then resubmit it to me, okay? I want to see that you've worked and edited your paper. Remember, it's not due until tomorrow, okay? So you have a couple of days to work on this. See you guys later.